Hi, Mary. You there? Come on through.
Hello.
Just take a seat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, so you found me okay?
Yes,
No dramas
yes,
at all?
thank you very much.
Good
Yes,
stuff,
yes,
good
no,
stuff.
your instructions are good.
Good stuff. Now, before we get started, I just want to make sure I've got your details correct from when we spoke on the phone last week.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're 63.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we had some measurements here. So you're 51 kilos, height 151, and waist your little person 67 centimeters.
Yes. Sorry about that.
No, nothing to be sorry about. That actually, with your BMI index, your body mass index, that means that puts you right in the perfect weight category for your height. Oh. So you're spot on with that. Now, you had a fall last week.
I did, yeah,
okay.
and fractured my wrist. Now the pain's gone a bit, but
good.
I'm still a bit weary.
Yeah, no, understandably, totally understandably. Now, what did the doctor say with it all? You had some tests done.
Took some tests, and I'm on HRT, calcium, and vitamin D.
Okay, and did they actually have any diagnosis of what was going on?
Yeah, said I've got some osteoporosis or something in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you comfortable with all of that? You had a few reservations about it all last week.
I really don't understand.
Okay.
What is osteoporosis? As osteoarthritis? What's?
Okay. Osteoporosis is basically it's where the bones are degrading. Now, if you think of your skin, we're always losing skin cells, right?
Yeah.
The bone throughout, and that happens throughout our life, right? It's always we're regenerating those skin cells. Bones are the same. They're not a static thing. They're actually releasing calcium into the bloodstream and then reabsorbing calcium to strengthen those bones again. And that's happening throughout our life.
Yeah, I thought that stopped early.
Now, they grow until a certain point in length and size, but if you know the little knobs on the end of the bones, they're always releasing calcium and then reabsorbing it back in to keep them nice and strong. That's happening all the time. The problem that we have is that as we get older, those processes slow down. Yeah. So, and what's happening with osteoporosis is that calcium is not getting put back in. Now, where that can come from is lots of different ways. One, it can be that our digestion isn't absorbing calcium from our foods very well. It could be that we're not getting enough vitamin D from the sun. We're not getting out in the sun enough and being able to...
I do gardening.
Okay, when you're out in the garden, do you wear sunscreen, the slip, slop, slap and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, and I have long sleeves to stop from scratching in the...
Yeah.
And a hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In Australia, we've really got the slip, slop, slap message very well. A little bit too well. So early morning and late afternoon, we actually need sun exposure on our skin without clothing, long sleeves, without sunscreen, so that we can get the vitamin D through our skin to make all these processes happen. It's actually really, really,
so that's
really
why
important.
I've got no vitamin D.
Well, it's
covering up too much. It's
one of the reasons. Another thing is too, the thyroid is a little gland.
Yeah, since I've been, since I had the fall, I can't swallow.
Yeah.
Is that something to do with throat?
Yes, it is. Yeah. What I'm actually not surprised about that, because a few things. One, you're 63. How many years ago did you stop having your periods?
Oh, golly, long time. In my 50s.
Okay. Yeah. So the thyroid is a little gland that's almost like a conductor for all the hormone releases and things that are happening through the body. So, and it works really hard at puberty, pregnancy and menopause, because it works very closely in with the ovaries. Right? And it helps with releasing the estrogen and the follicle stimulating hormone and all these things. And it sits in the throat. It's a little butterfly shaped gland that sits in the throat, wraps around the voice box. When it's stressed, it swells and it squeezes the throat.
So that's since I had the fall.
Yeah. So just all the stress of it all, the thyroid's got, I can't cope with all this. Just give me a minute to catch up. And it's swollen because it's stressed. And it just catches in the throat. Oh, by the way, you know there's a glass of water there if you need it and anything like that too. So, so I'm actually, that was one of my questions, if something like that might be happening. And everything which I'm preparing for you is to work with the HRT, to work with your calcium and your vitamin D supplements from your GP.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we're working together. You know, we're not in competition with each other. Our aim is to help you be better.
I was a bit worried about that. Yeah.
So now with that, as I was saying, thyroid is one of the reasons we start losing calcium and the vitamin D are not working as well if the thyroid's not absorbing those hormones and those minerals. It could be that we're not absorbing the calcium from our food, and that has to do with whether we've got too much acid in the stomach and it's just not breaking it down, too much or not enough. And so I wanted to get an idea of what your diet is like, just so I can see if you're having lots of...
good because I'm play sports and everything. But
Yeah.
I have a muesli for breakfast. Probably half a cup and with full cream milk.
Yep.
And then just a cup of tea.
Okay. Black tea, white tea, herb tea? Black tea. Okay. And what would you have for lunch?
Possibly a sandwich with cucumber and cream cheese, something like that. And I'll have honey and lemon tea then.
Okay.
Yep.
And dinner?
Normal, just meat and 3 veggies.
Okay. Just whatever's in season sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
I grow a lot, yeah.
Oh,
so,
good. Awesome. That's fantastic. And what would you have as snacks through the day?
Piece of fruit or picky or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
with black tea again, I don't have milk in my tea or sugar.
Okay, well, I've actually put together an idea of some foods that are really high in calcium and minerals and magnesium and all that.
Does that affect what?
Not at all. Not at all. It's to help you actually absorb it better. Because part of the problem with the osteoporosis is we're passing that calcium out of the body through our urine, but we're not getting it back in again. So it's really important we do that. And the supplements and your diet work together. Okay, so how does this look? So what we want to do is, I was thinking maybe a smoothie. Almonds are really, really high in calcium. So I was thinking smoothie with almond milk.
I'm not used to a lot of bunnies. Never had that sort of thing, but I'll try.
Okay. It's actually quite nice. I actually prefer it to soy milk to myself. It's got a nice flavour. So, and we can put berries and a banana and make it nice and yummy. And just a little bit of what's called LSA mix. Now that's got linseeds, flax and almonds all ground up. And they'll just give it a bit of a bulk.
They come ground up?
They come together all ground up in a packet. Okay. Prunes again are very, very high in calcium. So maybe some prunes and nuts for a snack at morning tea. Fish again. So we've got here tuna, salmon, egg yolks and cod liver oil, all really, really high in vitamin D. So we're working on foods that are high in vitamin D and calcium for you. And
I won't overdose with vitamin D.
No, not at all. You'll have to really go crazy to overdose. So I was thinking 10 sardines all mashed up with the bones with some coriander and a little bit of onion maybe, and spread it on some toast with some cucumber and a little bit of salad. Maybe some yogurt and berries if you need a snack in the afternoon, and a spinach and ricotta pie I thought was some nice veggies. You don't have to do it. You don't have to change your diet and make us it from now on. This is just some ideas of what.
I was going to say I can sort of gradually.
Yeah. That's the idea. This is just ideas for what you could have instead. So
it's interesting. A lot of it I haven't had before.
Yeah, so just a whole lot of ideas there. The other thing is to make sure you're having enough water, which, because you're just a little person, the optimum is 30 mils for every kilo. So that works out about 1.5 litres a day. So your 2 to 3 glasses is fairly close. The main thing which I would like to swap out is your black tea, because tea is high in caffeine, especially having it black, and caffeine stops the calcium being absorbed.
So I might have been Thinking I'm not having sugar and too much milk. I'm doing myself. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? They should teach us all this at school, but they don't.
Yes. Instead of selling Coke in the tuck shop.
Yes, exactly. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Now, and what we're basically doing is moving to what's called a Mediterranean diet, which is lots of fruit and veggies, mainly lots of veggies and green leafy veggies, water, fish, good fats and protein. That's all it is.
And a little bit of wine?
Preferably not, because again, it affects the calcium absorption.
Oh, does it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's another one of those things. Also smoking, if there's anybody around you who smokes.
No, but I do like a little glass of red wine.
Yeah. A little glass every now and again, but certainly not every night. Okay. And not every...
No, every
No,
night.
not every night, not every second night, not every third night.
Okay.
Once a week, we could stretch to that. Now, the other thing that's really important with that, you were saying that you play tennis. Tennis is really good aerobic exercise in that it stimulates the circulation. What we actually need to do, there's lots and lots of research that shows weight-bearing exercise, which is where we're doing steps, where we're doing jumps, where we're actually using weights. That's using the muscles, which is building the bone at the same time. So is there a gym at your tennis club?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get together with a personal trainer there and get together to learn some, get them to show you some good weight-bearing exercises and resistance training. Resistance training is the weights, and you don't have to become a bodybuilder. It's just about building the muscles. Okay? And it helps to get that bone mineral density, that BMD, up, which is what we're looking at. And it also helps with balance. Even things like yoga and Tai Chi, they're really good at building coordination,
I like yoga.
Muscle tone, all that sort of thing. And that helps with confidence too.
Thank you.
We touched a little bit on vitamin D. Vitamin D is absorbed best through the skin, right? The capsules are good, but the best sort of source of vitamin D is the sun. That's what we were designed and what we've been living on this planet with since dot. So when we're slip, slop, slapping, we're stopping the sun from getting to our skin. So at least in the summertime, okay, we live in Tasmania, so we really need to be aware of that. We need to get the sun on our skin. At least in the summertime, might only need 10 minutes a day without sunscreen. And before 10 and after 4 is usually safe, so we don't want to get sunburned instead. But in the wintertime, especially down here, a good even 40 minutes a day. If you can, half an hour. Just so we're getting that through. So go out there and have your cup of tea. Yummy. And I've put all that on here.
Thank you. That would be good.
Now, with all your tablets, with what I'm giving you and the changes we're making in your diet, it'd be a good idea if we can get another bone density test again in 3 months.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I can do that.
Yeah. And at the same time, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get thyroid function done just to see if that's struggling a bit too hard. And also your vitamin D levels, because the only way we can test your vitamin D levels is with blood test.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And the other thing I was thinking about, we talked about any alcohol and smoking. How are you feeling with safety around the house?
A little bit worried that if I fall, I'll break my hip and there's nobody there. And
and you've got your grandkids and they're trying to, exactly.
And if I fall down and I'm looking after them.
Exactly.
We've got to wait for their mum to come.
And just stress for everybody. I was wondering if it might be an idea to get somebody in to put some handrails around the place, like for getting out of the bath or outside the back door. Because, I mean, it's just that little bit of extra reassurance walking around the house.
Distance I had before.
So you've got an extra hand there to grab hold of.
Thank you.
So I'll put that on there so you can look into that when you get home.
I'll have a good look at it all.
Okay. Now what I've got just down here is just something for you to read when you get home, and I've got a few other handouts for you too, just to explain what a Mediterranean diet is.
Oh, thank you.
So it's nothing to be, it's just a healthy diet really. Getting rid of the processed food, getting back to what our grandmothers would have eaten. You know,
I certainly wouldn't have eaten the stuff we do.
No. In fact, if you walk around the supermarket and you see food that your grandmother wouldn't eat it, don't. It's the craziest way.
Grandmother wouldn't know what it was.
Exactly. So, and I've also put on here which are your good calcium and magnesium rich foods. Yeah. Water, avoid your sugars and coffees and all that sort of thing. Yeah. Sorry, let go of that caffeine. Again, herbal, your green wheat tea if you like it. Water is all good substitutes. Okay. So have a look and find some nice teas.
Look at it.
Yeah, and that. And sleep. Are you sleeping okay?
Yes, not too bad though. Well, 7 hours, I suppose.
Yeah, 8 hours is good. So if we can get that, it's fantastic. And what I've got here is just a little bit explaining why water is so important. And this is just stuff to take home and read, and explaining a bit more about what is a Mediterranean diet. So I thought, well, being a librarian, you would appreciate having some good information.
Thank you very much. And when do I have to come back to you?
About a month's time. How would that work for you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah.
Now, is any particular time of the day better for you?
Yeah, early afternoons.
Early afternoon,
yeah.
so about...
to get home and, before the traffic gets...
Yep, or 1, 2 o'clock?
About 2 o'clock.
Okay, now
if you can do that.
Okay, so that's going to put us at the end of October. So if we go for about 2 o'clock on the 26th?
Yes, that'll be good. Thank you.
Fantastic.
And I can ring if I have any.
Absolutely.
Doesn't suit or anything.
No, absolutely. If you've got any questions about it, or when you get home, you go, hang on, what does that actually mean? Just get on the phone.
I might. Yes. You never know, do you?
Yeah, exactly. You go, can you just explain what that is?
No, thank you.
No, that's fine. Now, have you got any other questions about your HRT, how that works, everything you're all okay with?
I think I'm right. Yeah, I think I've got it all. It's just what you're giving me is not going to affect what
not
the
at all.
doctor's giving me.
Not at all.
Good.
Okay.
That's it. And I can tell Doctor what you've
Absolutely. Please take everything I've given you. You're welcome to take that to him and say, hey, how does this all work? Just to confirm. Okay. That's perfectly fine.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay.
No, that's good. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Okay, well, if that's everything, we can probably leave that today. I'll go and make your medicine up, and we can go from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.